Weighted vests have become insanely popular. I've got a 5 kilo vest here, a 30 kilo vest here, and I've been using them for over a year, in my training, on my hikes, and especially for building stronger pull-ups. But here's the thing, a weighted vest isn't just a fitness fad. There's actually fascinating research showing how simply wearing a weighted vest in your daily life can improve strength, metabolism, and long-term health. In this video I'll break down the science, share my own experience, and help you decide whether or not adding a weighted vest is worthwhile for you. The first and most obvious benefit of weighted vests is that they just help you to burn more calories because you have to carry them around. A 2024 study took 20 healthy, physically active military-aged adults and made them walk for 6 to 21 minutes with 4 different weighted vests. What they found was that the higher the weight they carried, the more calories they burned. Having a 22% of body weight vest increased energy expenditure by 12.4%. Having a 44% body weight vest increased energy expenditure by 25.7%. And having a 66% body weight vest increased energy burn by 41.2%. For me, who weighs 80 kilograms, 66% body weight would be 52 kilograms, which is quite a lot, but a 41% high calorie burn is also insane. My current weighted vest is 30 kilograms max, and I can comfortably walk and even run in it, but 52 kilograms would be quite more strenuous. The researchers also saw that a weighted backpack is even more powerful than a weighted vest for some reason. For every 10% body weight added, rucksacking increased energy burn by 19.6% compared to the 13.8% of a weighted vest. It's probably because walking with a weighted backpack is harder and you have to exert more energy for balance. So how many calories are we talking about? For the most energy expenditure, the subjects had to walk 1.5 to 2 meters per second, which is the average walking speed. If you walk 2 meters per second for 1 hour without a weight, you would burn around 410 calories. With a 22% body weight vest, you would burn 520 calories. With a 44% body weight vest, you would burn 660 calories. And with a 66% body weight vest, you would burn 820 calories. That's twice as much as you would burn without a vest, which is quite insane. From my own personal experience, I can say that walking with a 30 kilogram weighted vest is quite simple. It's not extremely difficult that I couldn't do it. I'm of course quite fit and I have good cardiorespiratory fitness and good muscle strength, so it's not expected to be difficult for me. My heart rate does increase to the low 100s, which is something like zone 1 heart rate for me, so it's not even considered strenuous exercise. So it feels like you're walking up a hill or hiking. Another perk of walking with a weighted vest or rucksacking is that it's less strenuous on your joints. If you have knee pain or something like that, and you can't run, then you can easily replace it with a weighted vest and get decent cardio. So for weight loss, walking with a weighted vest is better than regular walking. However, using a weighted vest during weight loss has been seen to prevent weight regain after you stop dieting. This 2025 pilot study on older adults age 70 who were obese and with osteoarthritis found that not only did those who wore a weighted vest during dieting lost more weight by the 6-month mark, minus 11.2 kilograms versus minus 10.3 kilograms, but they also gained back only 50% of the weight they lost after 2 years, whereas those who just dieted gained all of their weight back and even gained 900 grams. The interesting thing here is that after 6 months of wearing the weighted vest, the resting metabolic rate decreased by only 16 calories, whereas the group without the weighted vest saw a 237 calorie drop in the resting metabolic rate. That's a 200 calorie difference, which over the long term will have a huge effect on their body composition and health. The reason for this is probably because when you lose weight, your resting metabolic rate will inevitably decrease because you lose weight. If you weigh less, your body requires less energy to survive, and thus your metabolic rate lowers. However, if you're wearing a weighted vest, this 30 kilogram beast, you have to carry this goddamn thing around, and therefore you exert more energy to carry it. You're basically tricking your body into thinking you weigh more than you really do, because your body only recognizes the force it has to exert every day, not how much you actually weigh. Your resting metabolic rate stays elevated. Okay, so what's the protocol? The participants wore a weighted vest based on how much weight they had lost to keep their weight the same from the beginning. They increased the weight every week up to a maximum of 15% of their baseline weight. For an 80 kilogram person, that's only 12 kilograms, which isn't a lot. The catch is that they were told to wear the vest on average 6 to 8 hours per day, which sounds like a lot, but the average weight the participants actually wore was 6 kilograms or 7.3% of their baseline body weight, and they did it on average for 2 to 3 hours a day. So in my opinion, this is another win for the weighted vest. Not only do you lose more weight by wearing the weighted vest, even as little as 5 to 6 kilograms, but you also prevent your resting metabolic rate from decreasing during the weight loss. Because wearing a weighted vest overloads your joints, it might also increase your bone density. And because you lose bone density during weight loss, because you have to carry less mass around, wearing a weighted vest might also prevent the loss of bone density. In this 2025 randomized controlled trial, they saw that 12 months of weight loss with a weighted vest of up to 10% body weight didn't prevent the bone loss in older adults, but the weighted vest group did maintain a little bit more bone mass, although it wasn't statistically significant. Previous studies on postmenopausal women have found that weighted vests can reduce bone loss, so there might be some minor effects. Based on the current evidence, wearing a weighted vest isn't going to prevent bone loss, but it might slow it down. And some bone loss is to be expected when you're losing weight. You can just minimize it with a weighted vest. Like I said, I've been using a weighted vest in my training for many years. In most cases, I use it for doing weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, and it's amazing for getting stronger at calisthenics. I don't wear a weighted vest every day when I'm walking or something like that, because I'm not trying to lose weight, but I do like to wear my weighted vest for some walks and hikes as just zone 1 cardio. Overall, I definitely like my weighted vest. I'm gonna keep using it in my training and in my walking, and I do think a lot of people would benefit from wearing a weighted vest. For daily use, something like 10 to 15% of your body weight will make it a lot easier to lose weight and increase your conditioning without doing specifically cardio. Do you need to use a weighted vest? Well, if you don't have weight to lose, you do cardio, you lift weights, then you don't need to use it. If you want to increase your cardio without running or without doing other forms of exercise, then it can work and it can help with weight loss. Check out my evidence-based workout plan for longevity to know how exactly I train.